What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for this ridiculous show, The Never Ever Mets. But this is season 1, episode 2, you guys. This episode is titled "It's Complicated IRL." Before we go ahead and get into this review, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this episode of The Never Ever Mets, shall we? All right, guys. So one thing I want to ask you guys, do you guys want to go live for this show? You guys know how, like, with Ready to Love, I would record my video and then the next day we go live. Let me know if that's something you guys would like with this show, especially if it gives us something to talk about. This episode, I don't feel like it gave us a lot to talk about, but I do know that some things happened last week where Dominique was in certain reviewers' comments last week. And I would like, I don't necessarily know if I want to speak on that, but I do want to speak on the fact that I find it hilarious that I'm hearing that Alexis and Dominique are cool with each other, and that they're going around saying that they were doing, it was for the show, and just making, in my personal opinion, making a mockery of this, right? Because in this episode, it picked up where we last left off. And if we're being honest with each other, that doesn't look like it was for the show. That was very much serious, because he was on her face just barking at her, and then she got that skillet to hit him with it. Like, it was real. It was real. Like, let's not play the game with each other. Let's not play that game. It was very much so real. And then I didn't even catch this part last week's episode where he was talking about the fact that her titties and her ass is fake. That's why I knew why he wasn't feeling her when she walked up to him at that yoga day. I knew it was because of her boobs and her butt. But I'm like, she's still a good looking girl either way it goes, so whatever. But for them to be downplaying this, it's like, okay, it's unsettling, but whatever. Then I had the question for production. It's like, at one point, him and her were still going back and forth with each other, and then they were still in the same vicinity of each other. I was like, y'all just saw what happened. Why not separate them two instead of it keep going on? Because you see the cameramen, you see the producers, you see the cast. It was like, okay, the only person who was able to get them away from each other for, what's her name? Can't even think of the girl name what is her name? It starts with an S. I still got to get used to these people, you guys. So y'all gonna have to give me a minute with these people. But old girl with the bangs, I can't think of her name right about now. What's her name? I know her boyfriend's name. I know her guy's name is Josh. What is her name? Shay. So Shay was talking to Alexis, and Josh was talking to Dominique. And I was like, what's going on here? Like, can y'all not, like, y'all got to get him out the house. But eventually they did say he was going to go to a hotel room for the night. I was like, a hotel room for the night? He's not going home? Like, it got physical. So let's send him home where he should go. And unfortunately, Alexis has to go home too, because this is not one of those shows where, this isn't a Ready to Love. These are couples, and I'm still using couples like this because I don't buy these couples. So the next morning we see Taronda. So Taronda came over to talk to Alexis about what happened last night. So Alexis gave her, rendition of what happened. Now, I was confused when Taronda said, well, we got a video from him, so we want you to see this. I was like, why is she having to watch this video? And in the video, I didn't get any sincerity from him, because even if he was, he was saying, let's move past it. Nah, bruh. That's this goes for man, woman, anybody, right? Once you put your hands on people, that's the line is crossed. You've crossed that line, you've destroyed that line, you've disintegrated that line. The line is non-existent and we cannot come back from it. Absolutely not. And then in his interview with the producers, you hear him saying that, actually in the video as well, he said he just wants to sweep it under the rug. I don't know who said it to her in the house, but I think it was Sienna. Sienna was like, if it was either Sienna or Millie. I can't remember which one it was, but one of them said if he felt that comfortable to do it in front of the cameras, you can only imagine what he would do when he's not being watched. I was like, say that again. But like I said, he wants to sweep it under the rug and he wants to still get to know her. I'm like, no, you push me. You had your hand up around my neck. Nah, we ain't coming back from that, sir. And then he says to hit him up. But according to what they're saying, she did hit him up like a fool. But hey, if she like it, I don't love it, right? Now, also in his interview with the producers, he was saying to the producers that he doesn't regret it. And I was like, I believed him when he said he doesn't regret it, because you can kind of look at him and tell that he don't regret what happened. And I'm like, okay. But as I said a few minutes ago, if she wants to be the man's punching bag and whatever, then I ain't got nothing else. I have nothing to say to it. I wish her nothing but the best of luck. But if that's what you want to do, go on and do you. But she has kids. She has kids. He has kids. You know what? Again, like I said, if she likes it, I love it. Well, no, I don't love it. I hate it. But hey, that's her life. You're going to do, it takes people some time. You got, some people have to get physically abused. So, get it to the point where it's almost life ending before they get out of the situation. But I don't know if that's where she is. Again, like I said, I hope that, they saying that I don't care. Moving on. Sienna and Brandy, you guys. So I thought that I was going to like Sienna, but then with this episode, Sienna is a hell no. Sienna's a hell no, just like what's her name is a hell no for me. Joanna. Speaking of Joanna, she liked one of my tweets last night, and I was like, oh, I hope I ain't the biggest fan of you. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Now, you guys know that with Sienna and Brandon lives down in Florida, and Sienna lives in New York. So he lets us know that he has a 3-year-old, I think he had a 3 or 4-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. How long have they been together? Because I feel like they're a couple that's been together for some years as well, right? Oh no, they've been together for 10 months. Now here's the thing, and I'll say this, and it pertains to each couple, right? Because each couple has been together. It's not even been a short time, because you have Shay and Josh who've been together for 12 years. You have Aaron and Joanna, 9 months. Diamond with a Y and Aaron H, 5 years. Alexis and Dominique, 6 months. You got Sienna and Brandon, 10 months. Sandia and Chris, 3. Millie and Greg, 3 years. So each one of these couples, like I said last week, I know Shayna said she gives you a month or give you a month, give you a while, right? And I can understand that sentiment as well, but I don't want to go, and this has nothing to do with the actual side. This is just wanting to know, because you can have a great connection, you can have great chemistry via text messages, via FaceTime, but then when you get in front of the person, you could be like some of these people, and you can be like Joanna and Aaron. Or you can be like Sienna and Brandon. There's nothing there with these two people. There's nothing there with these two couples. Or even worse, you could be like Sandia and Chris. So that's why I say 2 weeks. I'll even be nice enough to give you a month. But at some point, we have to meet just to make sure that there is something there. And it is just not, because you can get, like I said, you can get around a person and realize this ain't the person for me. Now, with Brandon and Sandia, he wants for her to come to Florida. Initially, I was going to give him some flack last week when he was talking about his kids, but I forgot that. But he has a 3-year-old, so I get him not wanting to just up and leave. But if this is you can take a weekend trip, you can take a day trip. If these are people that you really feel like you're gonna be with long term, what's wrong with taking a flight? What's wrong with taking a flight to them, or you going to them? Vice versa, or even saying, "Hey, babe, I'm off work next week. Let's go. I'm on vacation next week, right? I got the kids with me. Let's go here. Let's do, or even if I don't have the kids with me, let's just do something. Just do something fun. Let's go to Vegas. Let's go to, Atlanta. Let's go to Mexico. Let's go any fucking where." But none of these people are doing that, and I just don't understand it. Then Sandia and Chris. Sandia and Chris had the most draining conversation because he wanted to play like she didn't hear what she heard, and I was like, "Sir, you may not have been talking about any of the women in the house, but you definitely were talking about other women." So she's okay with the fact that they're not exclusive. I was like, "Okay, you okay with the fact that y'all not exclusive? Then why y'all here? Because that doesn't make sense to me." But okay. But the problem that she had was the fact that what he said about dating other women. Then he says, well, he doesn't trust women. And I had to look and see how old is Chris? Chris is 34 years old. He doesn't trust women, and he said he doesn't trust women, and the reason why he's there is to work on his trust with her. I was like, "No, sir. If you are 34 years old and you have a lack of trust for people, that is something within yourself that you need to go to a therapist and sit down on a couch and let those feelings out so that someone can help you figure that shit out. But you are okay with sleeping with women. Chris, go to hell. Go straight to hell." Then he told her she's too emotional and he isn't that emotional. Once again, sir, take your raggedy ass to a therapist and figure out those issues that you got within yourself. You don't trust women and you're not that emotional. Those are two things that you need to go sit on somebody's couch, have a conversation with them, figure it out, unpack that, because it's probably some hurt, some trauma, and some pain there. Go sit on a couch, not on this television show. Get out of my face with this dumb shit. Next up, you guys, we get to this exercise that Taronda has them doing, and it is Kama Sutra. I was like, absolutely not. These people are still virtual strangers to each other. Yes, they've dated, in a virtual realm, but they're still strangers to each other. Ain't no way in hell I would have done any of them poses with any of these people, right? I damn sure wouldn't have done the one that Chris and Sandia did, where he was sitting down and she was in his lap. Wouldn't have done that one. Wouldn't have done the one with Aaron H and Diamond, where she was on the ground, her leg was up, and he was right there in between her. Wouldn't have done that one. Wouldn't have done the one. I damn sure wouldn't have done the one that Brandon and Sandia did. He's laying down. She did that on purpose. She did that one on purpose because she don't want to look at him, because the one that she chose not to do, she was like, well, it looks too difficult. And Taronda was like, that's because you have to put in work to it, and you chose the one that didn't require any work. Who else we got? Aaron and Joanna. Aaron wanted to do one. Joanna wanted to do another one. Joanna wanted to do the one where she was laying down on the ground, not facing Aaron, and Aaron was behind her. I was like, Aaron, sir, I'm going to need you to catch the context clues. This lady don't like you, and I don't like her hair. I'm really trying to figure out, like, I think it's her real hair, but it's very frizzy at the top. Shay and Josh, both of the poses that they showed, they were like, oh, we did that last night. And I was like, wait a minute. So y'all two had sex the first night? I ain't hating. I don't have a problem with people who have sex on the first night, but damn, I would feel, if I was Shay, I would feel a fucking way. Like, we've been in a relationship for 12 years. You had sex with a woman that for sure I know of 3 years ago and created a baby, but now you couldn't come see me in them 12 years, and y'all ain't said that y'all had a break. If you did, I didn't hear it. So y'all had sex last night, but you couldn't come see me for the 12 years that we have been quote unquote dating. Okay, whatever. Ain't no way in hell, bitch. Ain't no way in hell. Did I get everybody? Oh no, Millie and Greg. What was their pose? Oh, Millie was on the ground. Her legs were open like this, and he was in between her. So, again, none of these poses I would have done. I would have told Sharonda, girl, hell to the now. Then they got a boom boom room. Well, Shay and Josh and already boom boomed each other. So, and I don't really see too many other people doing any boom booming. Let me see. Who do I see doing the boom boom besides Shay and Josh? Diamond with the Y and Aaron H. Speaking of Diamond with the Y and Aaron H. So Aaron, you're willing to suck her toes in the middle of on Hollywood Boulevard, but you ain't willing to go and see her, but you were also willing to propose to another woman. The math don't math. And Mr. Aaron, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but you a little too old for this shit. You are 51 years old. You should know what you should know what you want. You shouldn't be questioning that. Because if you had a question about where the relationship was going, but you were willing to propose to another person, then why not propose to that person and end things with Miss Diamond, right? That's the question that I have. And then that also leads me to believe that at the same time that you were talking to Diamond, you were talking to this other woman that you were willing to propose to. You know what? These people these people just, I swear I feel like these people are just playing in my damn face. Well, not in my face, in y'all's face. In y'all's face and in them producers' faces. Because I don't believe none of this shit. I don't believe this shit. Then the end of the episode, you guys. The end of the episode kind of pissed me off a little bit because I thought it was very disrespectful and very, very rude. So Brandon and Sienna, once again, they're talking about their living, their living situation, right? Now, earlier, she said one thing. Then in an interview, I guess with the producers, she said she would move. She would be okay with moving to Florida. Now she doesn't want to move to Florida. And so he told her that she's inconsistent, right? And then she says, you're not the only person that's told me that. Well, ma'am, if he's not the only person and other guys have told you that you're inconsistent, maybe you need to take an introspective look at yourself and figure out why is that. And let's be real, in this episode, you were very inconsistent. When y'all first had that conversation, you were open to the idea. But then when we get to y'all playing pool, you're not open to the idea anymore. And it's fine to change your mind, but the way you went about this was completely fucked up. When you called that man a bitch, you's a bitch. You a bitch. I was like, now if he called you out your name, you would be ready to fight him because you over calling this man a bitch and you laughing at it. But if he called you any kind of bitch, hoe, slut, tramp, any of those 4 things that I just named off, you would be ready to box that nigga. So don't do it to him. So then she goes one step and tells him, well, you inconsistent. And I was like, okay, elaborate. So she's like, you were married and then you and your wife got divorced and then you had a child with another woman. I was like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but take a look at again, I want you to take an introspective look at yourself. Because I'm going to say this to you. You and him have been dating for 10 months. That means you've known about this for 10 months. So that means that you told him it wasn't a problem in these 10 months that you guys have been dating. So now when you get mad at him, it's an issue that he was married to a woman before and has a child with that woman, but then he had another child with another woman, and that didn't work out. It wasn't an issue in the beginning, but now it's an issue. You're a hypocrite. Like, let's keep it real with each other. You're a hypocrite. And then she was like, well, so he got married at 20, he got divorced at 21. And he said that the relationship was toxic. And I don't know what toxic means for him, but hey, you can have a relationship where it's physical, physical abuse. There's so many different things that can happen in a relationship that drive people to get divorced. And she feels like, well, once you get married, you're supposed to stay married. I beg to differ, mama. Because if you get, let's just use this as an example. Let's say you get married to somebody and that man is physically, mentally, emotionally, all kind of abusive to you. So you're supposed to stay with that man just because you made vows to him? I think the fuck not. I think not. Yeah, with Sienna, I don't really see it for her. I really don't. Thought I was, but I don't. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, you guys, and share the video. Also, let me know, you guys, what you guys like for us to go live to discuss this week's episode. Leave it in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. You guys, that I say, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed. If I didn't, I just said it. I'll see you guys for the next video. Bye, guys.